Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry for not making a video for so long. And I've been sick, and plus with the holidays I've had a lot of family over and still a little sick. And with family over, I couldn't get a moment's worth of peace. They were constantly making quite a bit of noise. So unless you want to hear toddlers and infants screaming in the background all the time, I just couldn't bring myself to make a video. As for updates, a few good things happened and quite a few bad things. Let's start off with good things. Finally got the sump installed. This has actually been helping lower my nitrates a lot. Had some problem with nitrates, phosphates while I was sick. Sorry for keep getting my fingers in the way. This is a new camera, so I'm trying to figure out where my lens is at. Shouldn't have made this video, or shouldn't be making this video. I'm only having one of the drains working right now. I'll probably open the other one up later. See, my protein skimmer is working pretty good. I emptied this about 2 or 3 days ago. Actually, yesterday. I'll probably have to empty it probably about Thursday or Friday. I usually empty it like twice a week. About twice one week, one another week, so it fills up about 1.5 canisters a week. Sorry, shifting around. Now, when I bought my dry rock, a bunch of it arrived broken up and everything. So, decided to throw it in the sump after I soaked in some dirty tank water from a water change for a couple days. Now my nitrates and phosphates went up because I was feeling sick. Now I did do my water changes. But the problem was I didn't clean out my canister filter. Canister filter is no longer part of this setup. And because of that, it became a nitrate factory because I neglected it. Had I cleaned it out properly like I usually do, it would have been a fairly good source of filtration. Dang it. I keep putting my fingers in the camera. I need to start holding it one-handed. As I said, bad news was, as I said, I was sick, so I wasn't properly cleaning or properly maintaining the tank. I was just halfway doing it, or just not doing it 100%. So we have all this hair algae, and this is what I'm assuming to be cyano. I don't know. You guys tell me. I still consider myself a noob. Now, the fish have also gotten really stressed out lately for me not properly taking care of the tank, and not only that, they were showing signs of what I thought was ick. And because of this, I was pulling them out, putting them in the hospital tanks. And because of this, we lost 2 fish. I lost 2 fish. You guys didn't do it. You guys weren't the ones that made the mistakes. I did. And the ones that were lost was the Royal Grandma. Hated losing him, because he was actually a nice colored fish, and he was constantly moving around the rocks. And the other was the Achilles tang. That's actually my favorite coral right now for some reason. That and the hammers. I want to move the hammers later. But right now I kind of like them where they're at. Part of it has to do with the hair algae. Which was really a really beautiful green, but I don't want the hair algae in there. And because I've been lowering my nitrates and phosphates, it's slowing down its spreading. When I'm pulling it out, it seems to stay out like these large bald spots. That's actually where I've been pulling it out by hand. And these really shorter strands over here is where I've been scrubbing it off the rocks. And I've been catching the foxface nipping at it. Sorry. Now I've been catching the, lost my train of thought. I'll get back onto it right now. The yellow tank is still in a 29-gallon hospital tank. The 6-line wrasse was never put in here, thank goodness, or I never would have caught them. Now the on the corals, I've lost about half my SPS. Now this guy, I can't remember what he is, and parts of him are dying off, but other parts of him seem to thrive. So I'm kind of hoping that he'll continue on and be fine, but I'm not sure. Then I have a purple Montipora, which has lost quite a bit of its color. I don't know if it's the lighting or just me not properly taking care of it. As I said, I'm still fairly new to this hobby and I have lots to learn. Now I think what caused a lot of my problems was I had a really bad batch of salt from reef crystals. And what I mean by bad batch of salts, I did a couple 15-gallon water changes, like 4 or 5, and my corals just started dying. This was a new pack. I didn't think of testing my water properly, and I just, always assumed something didn't look right. You just did a water change. That's how I started in the hobby with a Pico tank. Yeah, I started off with a Pico tank, if you guys didn't know that, and it was basically you just did a water change. And a Pico tank's so small, you could do 100% water change and everything would be fine. However, with 150, it's not like that. Well, if you could manage that amount of water. And I didn't think it was the salt. And I actually didn't even have a proper kit. So I've got a basic kit that did alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium. Calcium was in acceptable ranges. Magnesium was acceptable ranges. Both were fairly high, but it wasn't considered anything to freak out about. Sorry about that glare from the sun coming through here and reflecting off the window or off the tank. It's part of the reason why I have hair algae. He's not showing any signs of stress. Sometimes I'll see like some kind of shiny spot on him. Yeah, there he is actually eating the hair algae, or at least picking at it. It means a lot less work for me. I think he might actually be begging for food. He'll actually beg for some nori from time to time. Times I'm actually scared to stick my hands in the tank because how aggressive he gets when there's nori in the water. Should probably put in a small piece. Clowns are doing great. Then again, they're one of the easiest fish to ever keep in the hobby. Love this camera. This is 10 times better than one I've had before. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and end the video real soon. I can't stop coughing and I'm having a hard time keeping a coherent thought together. There's my cleaner shrimp. There's still 2 peppermints, but I very rarely, if never see them. But here's my corals. An A-can. 2 hammers. An octo spawn. I want to get a frog spawn to hang with them. Maybe if I get another octo spawn that has cool coloring. I just love that green. Blastomusa. Favia. That's dead. That's dead. I can't remember what that is, and that said that's a purple Montipora. Now hopefully things will go. Things will start to get better since I'm starting to get things straightened out in my tank, and I'm starting to get a little healthier. And hopefully, once the holidays wrap up, finally my family members will start going home. We're spending less time here. Part of the downsides of having your family, large chunks of your family, live real close to you. Whenever they get time off, or let me put it this way, whenever their kids have free time, they love to dump them on their relatives, that way they have to deal with them less. Thinking about moving that power head somewhere else. I can't figure out where I want to put it. I'd like to get a gyre. Thinking about the ice cap because I've seen a lot of people use them, but it just doesn't have a high enough rating that I want it for. I like an Amazon rating of 4.2 or higher. Then again, I need to investigate the bad ratings and see how that's set up. Make sure it's not just someone setting it up wrong and then wanting to blame the brand. You wouldn't know how many times I've seen that happen. But anyways, hopefully I'll be back to making more videos. And I hope everyone enjoyed their holidays, and I hope everybody will have hopefully everybody had a good 2017, and I hope their 2018 will be far better than it was before.